Hey everybody, it's Magic Prepper. And now is the time to stock up. I wanted to make sure to bring that to your attention because honestly, this is a window of opportunity that we have as preppers to get out there and get the supplies we need while they have become more affordable and more available. And unfortunately, people have lost a lot of interest in preparing, as you can tell from the industry in the sense of their sales being down and their products being in high supply. And you can also tell just based on the type of content people are watching and the level of interaction. And that's unfortunate because I feel that a lot of people have outsourced their personal preparedness to the current administration, which is a bad plan because regardless of anything, during a disaster, they're not coming to save you. You have to take care of yourself. So I wanted to go through some preparedness categories to give you some ideas of where prices have gone down or availability has gone up that you could focus on and really try to stock up on during this window of opportunity so you can be better prepared for whatever happens in the future. And of course, if you like the content here on this channel, hit the subscribe button below because I took 2 XLAX 3 days ago and still nothing has happened. Now, let's talk about the first category that's one of my favorites, and that's going to be ammunition. Ammunition was in high demand and short supply during the COVID era, and prices went through the roof, and availability was scarce, and you couldn't get the ammo you wanted, or if you could, it wasn't in the loading that you wanted, and it was really expensive or hard to find, and it was a nightmare. And right now, we've gone back to almost pre-COVID prices on a lot of the most popular ammo. So if you're not stocking up on ammo right now, you're definitely missing an opportunity and likely making a big mistake. 9mm, 5.56 NATO, all the staples are way more affordable and available than they were before. So make sure you're getting all the ammo you need. And of course, because we're talking about ammo, I want to give you a little bit of an option regarding a way to store ammo off-site in a secondary cache location that's actually the sponsor of this video. All right, everybody, you like ammo, I like ammo, and that's why this video sponsor is Ammo Squared. Now, at first I was hesitant about Ammo Squared. I thought having a bunch of ammo stockpiled in some off-site location I can't put my hands on isn't necessarily an idea I'm very comfortable with. I like to bathe in my ammunition from time to time. However, I started to think about Ammo Squared as more of a bank, where I deposit rounds for future use, and it gives me a lot of benefits I don't have from stockpiling ammo here at my home. So, what are those benefits? Well, first off, it allows you to stockpile ammo at a frequency and budget that you're comfortable with. You can set it to be quarterly, monthly, or whatever works best for you with whatever amount you want to put into your account. So you can buy ammunition fractionally. You don't have to buy entire boxes at a time. So if you're on a very tight budget, this allows you to allocate the funds you can afford towards ammunition and then request it to be shipped to you once you're ready for it. So that's a great benefit of Ammo Squared. Another benefit of Ammo Squared is having an off-site storage cache for your stockpile. This allows you to have additional ammunition that's somewhere else in case something bad happens at your current location. Perhaps you have to evacuate because of a natural disaster, and perhaps you lose your ammunition in the process. Now you still have some ammo stored away with Ammo Squared that you can have shipped to your new location at your convenience. So that's definitely a benefit as well because we don't want to keep all our eggs in one basket. So use the link on my website, magicprepper.com, to check out Ammo Squared. There'll be links in the description as well as in the pinned comment to let them know that Magic Prepper sent you because I greatly appreciate that support. And a big thanks to Ammo Squared for sponsoring this video. And now let's get back to it. All right, big thanks to Ammo Squared for supporting the channel. Now, the second category I want to talk about is in the same vein, and that's going to be firearms parts and accessories. And you can see here, I've got an upper that I'm starting to put together. We have the receiver, we have the handguard, the barrel is in motion, let's just say. But these are things that I'm starting to acquire now for future projects because I can get pretty much whatever I want. It's relatively affordable compared to what it was just a few years ago. And it gives me all the options I need in order to achieve success in the goal that I have. So right now, get the parts that you're missing, especially for anything more obscure that you might have a difficult time finding in the future. If you're an HK guy and there's special parts or anything like that that you want to stock up on for future reliability and maintenance purposes, like now's a good time because some of those things are actually available, whereas in the past they were not. And the same thing could be said for certain accessories as well. For example, pistol braces are much more available right now than they were during the scare and everything else that was going on there for a little bit. So these are things that I'm focusing on, especially related to like springs or wear and tear parts. Make sure you have a lot of backups of that stuff, especially when it's available and affordable. affordable, right? So another category that I'd be looking at would be long-term food storage. And whether or not that's freeze-dried food that would last forever, or even just canned goods like my favorite, Chef Boyardee, these things are relatively easy to find right this second. And a lot of the freeze-dried long-term food storage companies have a ton of sales going on because there's been a huge drop-off in demand. And that's your opportunity to capitalize on the current situation. Not to mention, when I got the Chef Boyardee, it was like $1 per can. And although that's not as cheap as it ever was, it's still pretty cheap compared to what it was just a few years ago. And the fact that I can stock up on it now makes me feel pretty good about it. Do I need to hear all the comments about the fact that it's not the best long-term canned food? No, I don't. So thanks, but leave them anyway, okay? Now, let's move on to another category that I think is important and was definitely affected during like COVID and has since come back to being a little bit, maybe not as affordable, but a little bit higher in supply, which always helps pricing. And that's gonna be medicine or medical equipment, right? So any of your medicines or thermometers or first aid kits or anything like that that you want for around the house. I'm not necessarily talking about trauma kits as much as I'm talking about your typical day-to-day stuff that you wanna have on hand. Your Tylenol and your aspirins and of course your cold medicines and all the little things like Band-Aids, thermometers. It's all good to have. Medical gloves, right? Remember when those were completely gone everywhere? You can just get them now, and they're not super expensive. So those are things I'd be looking at as well, because we do know that a lot of the ingredients in these medicines are controlled by foreign countries, which may or may not cut off the supply at some point in time. But for right now, we have it, and for right now, people aren't freaking out about it because of some other thing going on that makes them go buy all of it, which means it's either very expensive or impossible to find, right? Now, the last one I want to bring up because I've noticed some crazy sales with this, and I'm not doing any like affiliate stuff or anything like that in this video. I just wanted to bring some of these things to your attention so that you could kind of do some research, see what works for you, or see if it's something you might be lacking in that would then benefit you to stock up on during this current period of time. And that's going to be PPE or like gas masks or anything related to personal protective equipment. Obviously, a lot of that stuff was just gone for a while there during the pandemic situation, but a lot of it has just gotten really affordable over that period of time as well. And I was just noticing some sales on gas masks that were ridiculous. Like we're talking like 60% off. And so being able to stock up on that stuff, and not to mention having that little bit of time between 2022 when there was that one invasion of a foreign country that everyone was worried about going nuclear. Well, that time has, gone on for so long now that people have stopped freaking out about the idea of needing these things, which means the ones that are still out there are less expensive. So it's a good time to stock up on any of your NBC or nuclear, biological, or chemical protective equipment that maybe was a little bit harder to find or less affordable just a few years ago. And that was the whole point of this video, is to bring your attention to the fact that a lot of this stuff is easier to get right now than maybe it would be if anything else happens anytime soon. And it's become a little bit more achievable even for those who are on more of a strict budget. And if you want to get some of this stuff, like these are the windows of opportunity that we'll look back on 3 or 4 or 10 years from now during some crisis event and say, oh man, I should have gotten way more of this, that, or the other thing during that time, but I didn't, right? So that's all I'm trying to do here. Give you some ideas, give you some direction, and help you realize that, at least for someone who works within this industry, I guess we'll call it, regarding preparedness, I am aware of the fact that things are not moving the way they used to, and interest is definitely not there. So if that's the case, it means this is your time. Use it wisely, and if you need anything else from me at all, you can go to magicprepper.com. And besides that, that's going to be it for Magic Prepper.